We do math, logic, and language all the time without knowing. It's quite interesting looking at language. For example, let's take something as simple as the sentence, not nice and tasty. You may wonder whether the not in this sentence applies to just the word nice, or if it applies to the whole thing of nice and tasty, in which case it would mean the same thing as not nice and not tasty. But wait, this seems so familiar. It's as if we're confused if it's not nice plus tasty with brackets, which would expand out to mean the same thing as not nice plus not tasty, or if it's already expanded and the not just applies to nice, which is the word right next to it. Because, well, if you think about it, saying something like not and then whatever you say after that is basically multiplying the whole thing by -1 for the opposite. You could even just think about it like multiplying the whole thing by not, because the not here applies to everything. And when you say something like nice and tasty, it's like nice plus tasty. And it acts in the same way when we speak as it would in math. And the thing about the whole communication confusion about whether the not applies to only what it's right next to, or the whole thing, is basically the confusion about whether there's brackets around the whole nice plus tasty, or whether there aren't any brackets, and in maths we don't have these kinds of confusions because we use brackets, like with -1 times 5 plus 7 for example. We can just know whether the -1 applies to just the 5 or the whole thing, because we use brackets around the whole thing if it applies to the whole thing, and we don't need to put any brackets if it just applies to the one that's right next to it, and nothing else. So if you think about it, we do this kind of expanding bracket math in our lives every day when we think. And actually, instead of using brackets when we speak, if we want to say not nice and tasty, but the not applying to the whole thing after it, then you'll say not in your regular voice and the rest in a lower or quieter voice to make it clear that it's bracketed, like not nice and tasty. See, we do this kind of logic bracket stuff every day. We just simplify it so much, we don't know the whole world of it, and it's quite cool. But we're afraid of the idea of math, so we never realize. It's just a fact that we're doing in our head. It's all just a bunch of logic we do all the time, so we think of it as some foreign land, like some foreign type of culture that specific people do, and that's what it's advertised to be. That's what it's shown to be. That's what people think it is when they see it. But really, it connects to everything we do. It's not like some foreign land or something. It's in everything. Every thought process where you go is based on that. So it's that maths is the stuff we do in our head every day without even knowing. It's just part of our instinct, our understanding of the world, and we never realized it. Even the people who are the weakest in maths, they actually still do so much of it in their head without realizing. It's part of our instinct. It's a fundamental part of everything, and you just can't get away from it. Well, imagine. And yes, I did speak that in a quieter voice because it's in brackets.